Defining the term, the concepts of promiscuity, partner counts, and the promiscuous carousel are fiercely debated across the cultural landscape. Feminists denounce the shaming of promiscuous women, while advocates of the red pill perspective warn men against committing to them. Yet, a fundamental contradiction plagues these debates, particularly within the pickup artist community. If a man's sexual strategy relies on increasing a woman's partner count, is he not actively creating the very type of woman he later shuns? Is he merely a hypocrite? To resolve this contradiction, we must ask a foundational question: what actually defines this archetype? The answer lies in understanding the core mechanics of the sexual marketplace. Women act as the gatekeepers of sex, while men act as the gatekeepers of relationships. When a woman accumulates a high number of sexual partners, it reveals two things: she has frequently opened the gate to sex, but men have rarely opened the gate to commitment for her. Therefore, a truer definition emerges: a promiscuous woman is one whose sexual market value consists almost entirely of sexual availability, and who lacks the ability to convert casual encounters into lasting relationships. Symptoms versus causes. Viewed through this lens, a high partner count is merely a symptom of the issue, not the root cause. Such women do not accumulate partners simply because they choose to engage in sex easily, but because the men they sleep with choose not to stay. This cycle of short-term encounters forces them to continuously seek out new partners. This distinction completely resolves the apparent contradiction between male and female mating strategies. A woman's goal of avoiding this cycle does not require her to avoid sex entirely, rather, it requires her to ensure that a man wants to stay afterward. This desire aligns perfectly with male biology. A man's primary drive is the sexual encounter itself, not the hasty departure that follows. In fact, most men would far prefer to find a woman compelling enough to make them want to stay. However, just as a woman cannot force the men around her to be desirable, a man cannot force the women he meets to be relationship material. Each person only controls their own gate, the path to long-term value. Consequently, withholding tactics are ineffective. A woman cannot reinvent her sexual market value simply by locking the gate. If her only perceived value to men is her availability, withholding that availability leaves her with nothing to offer. To break the cycle and cultivate genuine commitment, a woman must build substantial value outside of physical availability. When she develops traits that make her a compelling long-term partner, men naturally want to invest in her. Her partner count will stabilize not because she is artificially withholding sex, but because she has found a reason to stop searching. Ultimately, the number of past partners is just a metric.